Says damage done to two undersea cables in the Baltic Sea looks like an act of sabotage. One of the cables runs between Finland and Germany and is the online cable between the Nordic country and Central Europe. Deutsche Welle correspondent Chiponda Chimbelu joins us now from Berlin. Chiponda, g'day. So what can you tell us?
Well, of course, what we do know is that that cable connects, of course, the German capital Helsinki to the German port of Rostock, and it was severed early Monday morning. Now, prior to that, on Sunday, Joe, another communications cable was damaged between Sweden and Lithuania. A Chinese flagship traveling from Russia is suspected to have caused both incidents. And this is not the first time that a Chinese ship has damaged cables in the Baltic Sea. Now, the German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said that nobody believes that these cables were accidentally severed. He said that this could be part of a hybrid operation while not naming any potential suspects. And Pistorius echoed the sentiments of the foreign ministers of both Germany and Finland, Annalena Baerbock and Elina Valtonen. On Monday, they both issued a joint statement in which they said the incident could be part of Russia's hybrid warfare.
And so just how challenging is it to ensure security in an area as big as the Baltic Sea?
Well, of course, yeah, the Baltic Sea is a large area, and this is, of course, not the first time that sabotage is suspected there. And there's been, of course, incidents involving infrastructure there last year and, of course, in 2022 with the explosion of the Nord Stream pipeline. And while that is still being investigated by German authorities, there have been many conspiracy theories around that event with a lot of speculation about who is behind it, from Russia to Ukraine and even the U.S. government. Now, after the explosion, NATO and its allies stepped up their patrols in the Baltic Sea. So, of course, these recent cable cuts may raise questions about whether enough is being done.
And what are European countries doing to protect critical infrastructure?
Well, like I mentioned there, it is, of course, very difficult to protect infrastructure in the Baltic Sea in particular, where there are hundreds of kilometers of critical infrastructure, including for energy, and that would be, of course, gas pipelines, and then, of course, also communication cables. And then on top of that, there's also plans for offshore wind farms there. Now, securing every part of the Baltic Sea will remain a challenge. So European countries will need to work together, and the fact that both Finland and Sweden are now members of NATO improves security around the Baltic Sea. But of course, it is an international body of water, and NATO doesn't have full control of the Baltic Sea. And Russia, of course, also has ports in Kaliningrad and St. Petersburg. So Russian ships and Chinese ships, for instance, going to Russia can use the Baltic Sea just as much as other European ships. And that is, of course, the major problem as well.
OK, Chiponda Chimbelu reporting there from Berlin. Donald Trump has joined Elon Musk